Warning: the following presentation may be disturbing or triggering to some viewers. All information on this channel is provided by the local news and is public to all viewers for your own research. Viewer discretion is advised.
Wagwan, everybody. Welcome to our next episode of Talk the Things podcast. Today, we're going to be doing a next true crime episode. But you guys remember, I used to do two formats of videos. I'll do videos where I talk about one specific case and one person, and then I'll do some cases where I will talk about a whole area or a few, like a complex. Like I did Falstaff, I did Bleakers, and I would just talk about certain events that happen in one building or one neighborhood. I did Chalk Farm. So today we're doing Moss Park. I seen this one come up on our Instagram. No, it was a TikTok page. And I'm saying that's how much crime and murder happened in just the one building in a few buildings. No, so we're gonna talk about it. There's three buildings, right? There's 275, 285, and 295. But the area's name is Moss Park. So people just call it the Moss Park Apartments them. And they're big, it looks like a hood because of where it is a hood basically, but it's more a hood where it's like crackheads and it's like buckets and people just like trap over there. That's just basically what it is. It's a big crackhead area. It's downtown, so that's more to be expected. But there's not too much really like gang and them something that's running around there. From my research, because I don't really know these areas. I'm from Scarborough and I don't really go downtown, so I never even really seen these buildings before. But these buildings look like some New York projects because the man who built buildings them was from New York. So the whole area looks like Brooklyn in them place. If you understand, if you're from there, you will know how it looks. Now they're saying between 1990 and 2013 there was 6 deaths in this like three buildings. Them now 23 years and only 6 deaths might not sound a lot, but the whole area in general has way more than that. And in the buildings, them it's just bare. You're gonna hear these stories because some of these stories are fucking crazy as fuck, especially the last one or the one before the last. So we're gonna start talking about these cases. The first one happened, case one, it happened in 1990. So we're going all the way back. And sometime in 1990, this was either in 285, 295, or 275, but I believe it was 285. There was a 35-year-old man and he lived on the seventh floor. He lived in apartment 720. Now, actually, I want to say that he lived there. We don't know if he lived there or what he was doing there, but what I've seen, the article I read said that he was visiting a friend and he was just staying there for whatever time he was staying there visiting his friend. We don't know where he lived, where he came from, but he was there in the building in apartment 720 on the seventh floor. He got into the argument on the phone, right? And he's there cussing with some guy, going back and forth. They're just arguing. When the man on the phone that he's arguing with shows up to the apartment door. So imagine, I don't know if the person that he was beefing with was like in the building and knew that he was in the apartment. We don't know how he knew he was there. Or if he was like, yo, come link me right now type of thing and told him to come. Either way, the man showed up to the apartment, went to the door, beat the man to death. Just started to beat him. And I don't know if they were fighting or if he was just beating him. But, it didn't look like he got that much licks back into the other guy because the other guy wound up killing him to how much he was beating him. Took the body and threw the body down the staircase. You listen. I mean, in 1990, we don't know much because of how long ago it was. So I can't get you guys if these were black people, white people. There's no picture, there's no name, there's no date. Really, it's just an article, and I can't even find up no CP24 articles, nothing like that. But that's all we have on this case. Now, moving on to the next case, there's not much information on this one at all, at all, at all, at all. But this one happened about 10 years later in the year 2000, sometime in 2000. We don't have no month, we don't have no date, we don't have nothing. But what we do have, there was a drug deal that gone wrong, and a woman was shot to death. And that was the only thing. Once again, we don't know if it was in 285, 295, or 275, but we know that it happened in Moss Park Apartments. Now, going on to case three, we have a little bit more information on this one. This one happened 7 years after the last case. So in 2007, there was a person that went by the name of Dwayne Campbell, and we're not sure what building he was in either. But again, this was on the seventh floor. The seventh floor is cross, and you're going to see a trend like this throughout the building that bear crime happened on the same floor. So I'm wondering if well, I'm going to get into that later on. But anyway, he comes out of the elevator, and a person was just there waiting on the other side of the elevator door and shot the man in his head right there. Boom, died right there in front of the elevator. I remember when I did my chalk farm or my Falstaff case, there was a story that was like this. And I kind of wondered how they knew that he was coming up in the elevator. And I'm going to tell you guys a little secret. throughout my whole life, I lived in buildings in Scarborough, right? Any building you can think of, any hood, we fucking lived there. And one thing that my dad always told me is that when you're coming out the elevator, especially if there's people in the elevator, you never come out on your floor. Say you live on 7, you would come out on 8 and take the stairs down, or you would come off on 7 and walk the other direction from your apartment. Wait at the side of the door where nobody can see you. Wait at like a corner or something near the garbage, you know what I'm talking about. And you would just wait until you hear the elevator door close, and then you can walk where you're going. Because of situations like this, the man came out the elevator and boom, they just shot him. So we don't know if they knew he lived on the 7th floor. We don't know if somebody tipped him off and said, yo, he's going into the elevator now and he's coming upstairs. We don't really know. We just know that he was shot right there when the elevator door opened up. So, moving on to the next case now. This happened a few years after. This is in January of 2012, January 6th, around 8:50 a.m. in 285. Police responded to a call for a man that was shouting, shouting, shouting. Now, this is early in the morning, so people are like, what the fuck, bro? So they called the police to go figure out what's the, like, go stop this man from screaming. We don't know if he's fighting somebody. We don't know if it's just him alone in the apartment. We don't know what it is, but the man's making their noise and he needs to shut up. They called the police come. There was a 21-year-old man in the apartment. His name was Dale Anthony, and he was the one that was doing all the screaming. So when police got there and they knocked the door now, the man jumped off of the balcony. We don't know if the police even got to say any words to him or nothing like that, but I think the police were just there knocking for about 15 minutes until around 9:06 a.m., about 16 minutes later after the call was made. The people then found his body just outside on the ground and he jumped off of the 15th floor balcony. So we don't know what he had in the apartment or if he was fighting somebody or in the apartment. I never seen nothing that said anything like that. But all we seen is that the man just jumped off of the balcony. We don't know if it was mental illness, what it is. But like I said, this is a very crackhead area. A lot of mental illness buckets all over the place. So a lot of these people that live around here and that live in this building aren't right in their head mentally. You know what I mean? So I mean that's just how it goes. But that's all we really have with that story. Also, there's not much. Going on to the next case now, case 5. This case is crazy. This happened on May 24th in 2013. Now, this is on Jane, somewhere on Jane, and there was a creek that some people were just walking by where they found a bag. So they opened up the bag, and inside of the bag, they found a torso and they found some other body parts. Now, the person that they ended up finding in the bag was later identified to be a 28-year-old from Eritrea, and she just came to Canada. She lived in 285 and she had like a friend, or they said it was a guy friend. They never said it wasn't necessarily her boyfriend, but they said like an associate, a person that she knew is a person who chopped her up in her apartment and brought the body down to the creek by Jane and left the torso and the bag and the body parts them in the bag. But she lived in 285 and she got chopped up in 285. So I mean that's just like, bro, I don't know what could have caused that. They don't really know what made him do this. Like I said, they didn't even say that that was the girl's boyfriend. They were just friends, but that's what he wound up doing, And they said that she came here just to learn English. She didn't really live in Canada that long. She was going to school and them stuff. She just started her life up here, and that was a person that she knew. And he chopped her up in her apartment and left the body all over. I think it took them a little bit of time to find the rest of the bodies, but I mean, damn, that case was fuck up, bro. Moving on to the next case. This happened on September 2013. We don't know the exact date. I couldn't find an article stating a lot of these cases. You guys will see that because of how old they are, there's not much news articles no more. And I don't know, but even though 2013 is not that long ago, it don't look like they have, like, I don't know. I can't see nothing when I search up these cases other than the couple that I showed you guys. But this one happened in 2013, and there was a man who was waiting for an elevator, and he was on the 4th floor when the next man just came and ambushed him, shot him in his torso, and killed him. So we don't know once again what the dealings were with this case. We don't know how they knew that he was, waiting for the elevator, or if he was tipped off, or if it was a person they were looking for, or if it was the right person, or if it was the wrong person. That's all that we really have on this case. So I mean, you guys have to let me know what you think about this whole situation. Do you live in these buildings? Do you know anybody that lives in these buildings? How are these buildings really? Is there any crime that I left out? If any of the crimes that I mentioned in here aren't, the right story, you guys put in the comment section and let me know. And we will talk next time on Talk the Things podcast.